Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have a new update for the trailer of Disney Plus's next live-action Star Wars show, that there being The Acolyte. We of course are going to go ahead and we're going to hop right on into it, break it all down for you guys from everything that we're hearing and everything that we're anticipating for the upcoming trailer of The Acolyte right now. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video we are going to be taking a quick read from StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there, as well as an overall source there as well, as they are reporting on this. This comes from a dual report, as I would kind of phrase it into those terms. The article itself is covering multiple topics within a galaxy far, far away, of course, but specifically, of course, in this video we are going to be discussing what they had to say about The Acolyte and the trailer, how it is very much so close. They said that they were wrong about the possibility of the trailer for The Acolyte on their report from March 5th, which was this past Tuesday, and it's supposed to be 3 months to the day before June 5th, which is when Collider.com had also reported that the show would be coming out. So what we know, or what we think we know, based off of those rumors and whispers coming from multiple reputable sources out there, like Collider.com, Best Ben Bolton, StarWarsNewsNet.com, you also have your insider industry scoopers like Daniel Richman also kind of taking those reports on this. Also various other YouTube channels out there talking about this, of how The Acolyte's premiere day is June 5th. Now, what I've been talking about and have been discussing here on the channel is that the common theme that we see with live-action Star Wars shows, especially and specifically for Disney Plus, but it is not just limited to that. For one thing, for live-action, this also seems to have applied to the animated projects. Okay, so like The Bad Batch in its previous seasons, Tales of the Jedi, also Star Wars Visions. Also outside of a galaxy far, far away, though, outside of that Star Wars franchise, we've seen this happen before just about with every other Marvel project on Disney Plus. By which, if you are a Marvel fan, we have our Marvel channel linked in the description down below, as to where the trend that Disney likes to do is that they'll put out the trailer roughly a little over a month before the actual initial premiere day of whatever given project, or in this case, a show is coming to Disney Plus. And this especially seems to have applied to their biggest franchises, being Star Wars and Marvel, of course. So that being said, where you have these other multiple reputable sources out there, as I had to mention, like Best Ben Bolton, or in this case StarWarsNewsNet.com, they also go ahead to reference Collider.com, reporting on the idea that the June 5th would be the premiere day for the first episode or first 2 episodes. However, they would like to do it for The Acolyte coming out on Disney Plus would be on June 5th. Then what I have been saying here on the channel is that May 4th looks like that could be our day for the trailer for The Acolyte officially coming out and really beginning that marketing and promoting for the upcoming show. May 4th also given that. May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day. So it's something that kind of coincides within itself and also really makes a lot of sense. Anyway, I digress. StarWarsNewsNet.com and their article continues by reading, what we do know is something is cooking up. Daniel Richman, industry insider, once again had shared and taken to his Patreon that the first trailer for the show, The Acolyte, will hit this month, apparently, in March. And mysteriously, right after that, as we had also discussed here on the channel recently, just touched on in our last Acolyte update video, is that an official Twitter account, or now known as X, as well as an official Instagram account, has surfaced for The Acolyte. Like, they're just underneath that handle name, essentially, of The Acolyte. Like, the username is The Acolyte. Those are like private accounts with no given any content underneath them or anything like that. No, like 0 followers because they're private accounts, but they seem to be ramping up for any type of promoting and marketing for The Acolyte, given that, every other Star Wars show seems to have their own personal profiles on these given platforms. Like, you could search up Obi-Wan Kenobi or The Mandalorian on Twitter. Those have their own personal profiles where they're also sharing specific content to those shows on Disney Plus. I myself find it pretty crazy that Daniel Richman, the industry insider, he's very reputable in the overall industry, not just within Star Wars, but also heavily for Marvel and a lot of other Hollywood projects, both shows and movies, with getting those kind of predictions or those kind of news and sources actually correct. So he's saying that the trailer for The Acolyte, instead of May 4th being that day for The Acolyte's trailer coming out, is that it would instead actually be sometime this month, like in the month of March, right now. The article continues by reading that all of this points to some official announcement coming from Disney, Lucasfilm, or Star Wars, or, all of the above, coming over the next couple of weeks at this point, in their eyes. The promotional material is also ramping up, it seems. Amanda Steinberg has been recently discussing and talking, a lot of the Acolyte recently, kind of hyping it up here and there, and a couple of her other interviews. Was recently focused of a magazine profile interview. Granted, it was fashion related, but she was still asked about Star Wars, of course. Also, Leslie Headland, the show's director and showrunner, had a similar story recently published by Backstory. She told the publication in a quote, "Setting it at the end of the High Republic era gave me an opportunity to look at a part of Star Wars that we've never seen, especially on screen, which to me seemed like a great canvas to paint on. That to me felt like a time period that I was most interested in. How did the Senate and the Jedi get to where they are in The Phantom Menace and throughout the prequels, and what happens and how to do that Jedi behave differently at the end of the High Republic era when they have so much power to them. It's unexplored, and not being able to rely on certain signifiers and sort of starting from scratch in a way was really fun too. But then all the great stuff that makes Star Wars what it is still there. I'm so proud of it, and it's a world I deeply, deeply love, and I feel absolutely honored to be a part of it." Ending that quote right there. A lot of people have their kind of suspicions about Leslie Headland, that she isn't going to make a good show. The Acolyte, automatically flax and has already flopped because of it being Leslie Headland. Point obvious. Most people don't like her because she's a woman. That's kind of the case. She has a really good track record. Like, a lot of her previous projects are really great. She previously worked on Loki as a director for that Disney Plus show on both of the seasons, and I think we know how we all feel about Loki, the show. It's a pretty great show. So that they're given, that alone, that as well, you can go ahead and look up the rest of her track record, her other projects. I think that alone, though, under her wing is something so great, and it really gets me excited to look forward to what she could bring to a galaxy far, far away, especially kind of like on her own. And also kind of taking into that consideration of, like, when you're starting in a new, fresh era, you have all new characters, you have, to a majority, some new locations also going on in there as well. It's a whole new story, it's a whole new plot point, and it kind of just leaves that question of, like, what's going to get messed up. Let's go into it with an open mind and see what they're able to go ahead and offer with the Acolytes show. Daniel Richmond had also said on his Patreon that the show was and has assembled a writer's room for season 2 recently, which makes complete sense given of what we know about how the show was put together from the initial get-go. Striking while the iron is hot, it makes complete sense for this show as well, which we had also predicted to be a huge thing for Disney Plus this summer. Will they be able to start shooting season 2 this year sometime? Seems like that could be a big likelihood. We certainly kind of hope so. Kind of related, Daniel Richmond also said that Ahsoka Season 2 could be filming as soon as Q4 of this year, so in the fall, kind of August, around there, is where we could see Ahsoka Season 2 begin its production, which also seems a bit rushed, but doable if Dave Filoni will not be too heavily involved within the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and the New Jedi Order movie. We don't think so, though, however. He's really just working as a producer on both of those projects. We'll kind of be in and out. Speaking of Ahsoka, the first season was also just nominated for 5 Critic Choice Super Awards, so we're looking forward to that. Last but not least, to kind of wrap up with an overall Star Wars update, I guess, for you guys, is we seem to have more confirmation from this week that Dane DeLagro is a part of the Star Wars skeleton crew for Disney Plus, that there is going to be coming out sometime in the fall of this year. We had to guess that we had missed that. We had known that he was actually working on Skeleton Crew, wasn't a part of it. He's just playing a simple minor role, though, however. We have found no record of a previous announcement saying that he was on the show, though, however, because of the Direct.com also asked about it on the red carpet of Imaginary, his new movie. The actor, anyway, had confessed to having no idea when the show is actually coming out, but had speculated around Thanksgiving. It's kind of what we already thought of anyway. This year all being said, guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.